You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
What's up, ladies? How y'all doing? It is your girl, your diva and knowledge lady, Mocha, representing Mocha's Ladies Lounge. Welcome to the lounge, everybody. Please do me a big, huge favor and hit that like button as soon as you get in. Look, I'm trying to get back in the algorithms, y'all. I done fell off, so your girl needs all the support in the world, okay? I done fell off like a bad lace wig without no real holding glue, okay? So definitely appreciate each and every one of y'all for still rocking with me, still supporting me. Nevertheless, honey, I am back and I got so much I have to discuss, so much to talk about. If you didn't catch my last upload, I talked about Arion Air Mattress and Markdown Martell, who had their live TikTok. The cringing moment that none of us was looking forward to seeing, but nevertheless, it was a lot of significant points that I felt like needed to be addressed with that whole ordeal. So if you have not been keeping up with the content, just letting you know that is my recent upload in case you did not get a chance to check it out. So make sure you check that out if you haven't already. So y'all, so let me get into it right away. So I really wanted to talk about this, the myth of the bro code. When one man's loss becomes everyone's problem. We all know that Martell has become a bitter black woman, okay? And it's no different, right? And I'm sure many of you could possibly relate if you've been in a friendship or you've been in the company of another woman who was not in her best space in her life. She was in a dark era, and for whatever reason, when you build a friendship with people who starts going through a lot of mishaps in their life and their marriage and their relationship, what tends to happen, if they're not mature enough, they will bring that bitter energy everywhere they go. And it's unfortunate that some people, you can only have a healthy friendship with them as long as they are doing just as good as you, and in most cases, if they are doing better than you. But you will soon eventually discover how a person feels about you when their luck starts going bad and they feel like your luck is going good. I actually had a 17-year friendship that I had to end for that very reason. Long as we both was kind of, singing the blues, we both was in a dark, space in our lives, it seemed to be that was the only time she would be authentic with our friendship, as long as I was going through something or as long as both of us was going through something. However, the moment things started working out for me or I started elevating a little bit, and as I started elevating things for her, continued to decline, I just noticed the shift in our friendship. Especially when her marriage started taking a toll on her and things didn't go really well. Her husband was really dragging her. He was dragging her really, really bad, And being a loyal friend at that time, I really tried my best to stay loyal to her, still be supportive, just basically just be there for her, because I understood she was going through a very rough patch in her marriage. But what ended up happening ultimately, instead of her appreciating the fact that I was there, any little positive moment that I shared with her bitterness would start to manifest, and at the time, because I wasn't in a bad state in my marriage like she was with hers, she had the audacity to bring up something very personal and very sacred that I shared with her, out of the fact she was hurt and bitter at the time. So she wanted to take me down with her and throw a very unpleasant moment, a space in my life in which I was going through a very dark moment. And she felt the need to bring up that particular memory that I was still traumatized by, that I still had not fully recovered from. And she had decided she wanted to use that as a weapon against me. Not because I did anything to her, but because I'm in a dark space. And I don't need you telling me how great your space is. You know, I'm in a dark space, so I want to remind you of your dark spaces. And this is the reason why I can totally relate to the situation with Martell, who has failed, and now he wants to take everybody else down with him, okay? So everybody who's been falling, lost and tragic in Huntsville for quite some time, we have seen how much Martell's anger and bitterness has manifested ever since the departure of Melody leaving that marriage, and even more so after she left the show. Because now Melody is no longer the butt of jokes. She can no longer be used as a punching bag. Everybody no longer has the advantage of making Mel the center of attention. And now that Mel was wise enough to remove herself from a toxic environment, now what's starting to happen is the snakes are devouring each other. Melody is no longer the distraction that they can use to abuse and target. Meanwhile, they hide their issues, or they want to keep making her situation the main storyline of the show. That way they don't have to address their own issues. So now that's what's been going on. We're starting to notice that Martell is definitely butting heads with the Scots, who I call the scams, with the scams. And we really witnessed, them really trying to devour each other, right? So I really want to talk about this bro code thing, this situation that took place, the conversation that took place between Martell and Marceau. And I'm not a fan of either. I'm not a fan of Martell. I'm not a fan of Marceau. I'm not even a fan of the show, period, especially since Melody left. And even before then, I fell out of love with that show once I started noticing they kept making Melody the butt of jokes. Everybody kept coming together and tag teaming her. And that's what made me really just check out mentally from the show. Once I realized that they were just doing way too much DTM, doing too much, right? So I wanted to basically focus on this particular scene. I have no interest in Lost and Tragic in Huntsville, but nevertheless, when I discuss this is when I notice most of the time people are active in the comments, and in the content is whenever I choose to give my own opinion about certain situations surrounding love and Lost and Tragic in Huntsville, right? So the only part that really stood out to me was the scene when Martell and the guys were having they little bromance moment together, right? And it's a lot of things that stood out to me that really gives me a strong sense in believing that Martell is so bitter. He's bitter because him and the homies, see, they were smashing multiple women together outside of their marriages. So we're not going to act like Martell is the only one, because he was the only idiot who wasn't smart enough to hold his fuckboy shenanigans down. And not only that, he impregnated his mistress. Nevertheless, all of them were in on it together. Okay, Marceau, Maurice, and Martell, all of them was smashing. all of them was pumping and dumping on their wives, okay? I will further say this. Anything I say in this content is alleged based off of my own opinion. Fair Use Act, I'm specifically giving content for entertainment and educational purposes only. Nothing I say is actual factual. This is just my intake. That's all there is to it. And this is my disclaimer. So, back to what I was saying. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out. All of them was in on it, okay? All of them were friends. And all of them were married at the time. Martell was married to Melody. Marceau married to Kimmy. And Tisha married to Marceau. First of all, when you have a group of married men who constantly hang out together and one of them is cheating 9 times out of 10, the others within that same group who are congregating with him is doing the same. Okay? Now, I'm not saying this is the case with every circumstance, right? But let's all just think logically here. For a group of married men to feel comfortable hanging out with their homie who's married and has been very public with his mistress, that speaks volumes about their character. And for Kimmy and Tisha to be in denial with that, it just goes to show you a lot of women could only find comfort in their dysfunctional marriages by basically blocking out reality. And you just have some women that are like that. Because if they were to face the reality, trust and believe, I don't think Tisha or Kimmy will handle their husband's adultery affairs near as diligently as Melody has. The same ones who try to act like nothing is going on in their marriage, everything is great. The moment they find out something is, they will totally jump off the deep end. I strongly believe if Tisha even had a real indication that Marceau was doing something, she would possibly unalive him. Because she's been just that sure of herself. And that is the reality, that you have a lot of married women out here who think it cannot happen to them. They don't think it ever will happen to them. And they think it has never happened to them. Only to find out it has happened and they jump off the deep end. Okay? So, I say all that to say, all of them were in on smashing and banging chicks together. I'm going to call them the Banging Broad Brothers. Okay? The Banging Broad Brothers. All of them was participating in banging women. Okay? Nevertheless, Martell was the sloppy one. He was so comfortable to the point to where he actually brought Ariane air mattress alone. And Marceau and Maurice met her. Knew of her. The whole time, smiling and skinning and grinning in Melody's face. Knowing all along they had a banging brotherhood secrecy, you know. All of them were married and smashing chicks together. This was their personal, you know, low down little cult that they had amongst each other. And don't mistake it for one moment that Marceau and Maurice was innocent, because anytime a man can sit around another married man and have been introduced to the mistress, and you can comfortably still go around him, that says something about your character. Okay? On the other hand, you do have some men that are like this. Hell, yeah, what he doing is wrong, but he's a grown-ass man. That's his business. I ain't got nothing to do with that. You have some men who know that their homies are wrong for messing around on their wives, but it's this loyalty of, hey, that's not my business. I'm not going to rat my homeboy out. I'm not going to expose anyone. That's on them. You know what I mean? So, I say that to say we can't think because a man decides not to address it, that he's automatically guilty, okay? But at the same time, the fact that he's not addressing it, it could also speak major volumes because he knows he's doing the same thing. That is the reason he cannot say anything about his married homeboy smashing another woman, because he knows he's in on it too and he's doing the same thing. So it's various ways of looking at this, right? However, I want to show y'all this clip, and as always, I'm gonna break down some of the elements. I'm gonna break down what's really kind of going on, and my whole objective is this, and I'm going to play the clip momentarily. When Martell lost his marriage, he just didn't lose Melody, he lost his cover. And instead of owning it, he turned into Huntsville gossip blogger, exposing everybody else's skeletons while his own closet is still wide open. So, y'all, let's go into this clip right quick, y'all, because I know my content is long-winded, so I'm trying to get on working on trying to shorten my content, so that way I don't want too many people losing focus, right? Please make sure y'all go ahead and hit that like button. I am going to be interjecting, just letting you know. Plus, that also keeps the copyright down to a minimum versus playing the whole thing all the way through. Okay, so let's go ahead and play the beautiful bean footage, y'all.
I'm hungry. I want to eat some coleslaw in the back. A lot of coleslaw, a lot of sausage. I know this. Dog.
People gave Ariane the nickname Coleslaw because she was a side chick.
I'm gonna play that back, y'all. I was trying to adjust the volume, and I guess this is as loud as it's gonna get, so I'm gonna go ahead on and play it.
I'm hungry. I want to eat some coleslaw in the back of a Buick. Yeah. A lot of coleslaw, a lot of sausage. I know this, right? Put slaw all over my dog.
People get.
Okay, so you peep the shade. Marceau said, "Oh, I sure will eat a whole lot of coleslaw in the back seat. Get some slaw on my dog." And of course, Marceau I'm sorry, so many M's. Markdown Martell, Mr. Markdown, he's feeling some type of way when Marceau made that statement. I'm going to play it back again, and just pay attention. Pay attention to how Markdown tries to laugh it off at first, but then his real facial expressions start to reflect that he's pissed off with that comment that Marceau just made. So pay attention, y'all, because I'm not going to play it back again, but I want y'all to peep it.
I'm hungry. I want to eat some coleslaw in the back of a Buick. Yeah. A lot of coleslaw, a lot of sausage. I know this, right? Put slaw all over my dog.
People.
See, at first he played it off, I know that's right. And when Marceau kept pushing the pedal to the metal with some slaw on my dog, now look at his facial expression. You could tell he's pissed. He's angry. He's upset because his fuckboy shenanigans gave everybody so much leverage to basically make a mockery out of him. And that's what they're doing. Ever since he lost his marriage, and now that everything's out in the open, now people can use his bad decisions as a weapon against him. And that is what they're doing. They're making fun of his failure. They're making fun of his shortcomings, and even though true indeed everybody was all in on it together, but the point of the matter is Mr. Markdown, he got busted. His is way more out in the open. Not only that, he actually lost his marriage behind it. So Marceau is being the messy black woman that he is, and he's hitting him below the belt because he knows that Martell doesn't really have a bite in the fight, if that makes sense. So he's pissed. And if you paid attention, you notice how the other guy started laughing too when Marceau made that comment. So he's pissed because he's feeling defeated. All right? People are using his truth against him, and he can't even really lie about it because it's just out there, But anyway, we'll continue.
People gave Ariane the nickname Coleslaw because she was a side chick. And so me saying that I want some coleslaw is trying to get under his skin. But it's so easy to do. I'm the kind of guy that fights gas with fire. I like, when you're upset with me, I like to make you more upset.
So what we're dealing with, we got two narcissists, you know, and that's definitely a major red flag when it comes to the bro code. So at this point, they both are trying to really devour each other. What has happened is Martell has met his match, and so has Marceau. Only difference with Marceau and Martell, Marceau is he knows how to keep his composure a little bit better. Martell struggles keeping his composure. He tries to maintain it, but his facial expressions give it away. That high pitch gives it away. The throwing shade, hitting below the belt, exposing folks. Martell lets it be obvious when he's triggered. And when another narcissist is dealing with another narcissist, they know how to constantly trigger one another. Continue.
I feel like there's something else between y'all that's unspoken. What is going on?
That's what. Thank you, Will. That's what we're trying to get.
What's happening?
It's all out. Everybody.
I've been asking that for the past year.
What you asked is a fair question. How did we get here? Right. This is what I thought. When Scope broke up. Yeah,
but you can't even say that because you never saw that I had an issue with him, though, bro. You can't say that.
Why did he get bought out? What happened with the buyout then? Why did it even get there then?
Because that was the thing that we had mentioned in the first beginning. So
hit the like button, y'all. Thank y'all for coming in. Appreciate you. Please hit the likes. Thank you.
Marceau, again, he couldn't find no job. He got let go from the goddamn movie theater. He was a manager, and he couldn't find a job. And so therefore, I said, let's start the business together. I said, about time the business get up, he can buy me out because I don't want to continue on in stuff.
That's not true.
Okay, so basically, this is called the classic deflection move. Martell is feeling a whole lot of way about Marceau coming for him, okay? And Marceau's been coming for him pretty strongly. And both of them are guilty at it, really. But, so, what Martell calls himself doing is, he feels it's necessary because he's feeling defeated. So he has to pull all the way back out his file cabinet and bring up the times in which he was there for Marceau. Okay? And that is his way of trying to basically smooth out his way with Marceau of basically insinuating like, I was there for you and I looked out for you when you was working at the movie theater or you was broke, busted, and disgusted. And I put you on. I blessed you with an opportunity. I knew you was in a dark space in life. And basically, I was there for you. You know, I propositioned you with a business to help you get back on your feet. So let me tell you how the nature of the narcissistic ninja, right? This is what they do. They like to remind you of everything they have done for you, especially when you start calling them out on their BS. Okay? And again, Martell is getting tired of being the butt of jokes. Everybody's making a mockery out of his situation. But you know the irony, though, when Melody was there, though, nobody saw nothing wrong with it. Martell especially didn't defend her. He said nothing wrong. He didn't address anybody like, hey, I'm the one who messed up everything, so if anybody's going to go for Mel, they might as well come for me. I'm the one who created all of this. He sat there and he allowed everybody to attack Melody based off of his actions when he was the one who put Melody in the position to be attacked because of the things he did in that marriage. So everybody was punching her against the wall because of what he did. Now that Melody is out the way, now all of that energy is going directly to him. Now he's being made the mockery out of. So what Markdown is trying to do is he wants to remind everybody, even more so Marceau, that when you was broke and you didn't even have $2 to rub together, I was there for you. I was your friend. Okay, so this is his way of deflecting, gaslighting. You're making fun of me with coleslaw, but you forgot that once upon a time I was your homie. Had it not been for me, you wouldn't have probably been where you are. So this is what Martell is doing. He's trying to put up the good guy persona so Marceau comes off as the shady friend.
At the time that I worked at a movie theater, understand, I owned a 60-unit apartment complex, a 12-unit apartment complex, a 4-unit apartment complex, and like 10 homes. And I worked at the movie theater.
It's just not adding up here on either side. There's nothing wrong with managing a movie theater. But at the same time, if you own all this freaking real estate that Marceau's saying he owned, then why would you even take the help from Martell? I don't know. They just keep going back and forth, and it's kind of hard to even get the truth.
Martell was
Okay, so basically Marceau is not gonna let Martell get his flowers. No, you're not gonna sit up here and make it seem like I was so broke down and so bad off that I had to take your offer. No, I had other things going on. You're not about to try to make me look less of a man because I'm making you look less than a man. So that's what's going on. It's a lot of chest bumping and ego. It's a lot of ego tripping that's going on.
genuinely concerned. And he's like, bro, what you gonna do? You got a wife and some kids, and you are going to work every day. What are you gonna do? Maybe we can do something. That's some friendly.
And of course, Maurice is going to always try to stay all right with Martell because he knows he's part of the Smash Broad Brothers, right? He knows he's been in on all of the fuckboy shenanigans. So if you notice, Maurice is always trying to be the mediator because at the same time, he wants to stay loyal to his brother, okay? He wants to stay loyal to Marceau, but at the same time, he knows that he was also partaking in the Smash and Broad Brothers, okay? So he's trying to play it safe by making it seem like the Markdown Martell, hey, bro, I'm on your side. You was a good friend. You was there, you know. Maurice, all these damn M's. He's just like his wife, Kimmy the Frog. They straddle the fence. They always play on both sides. Maurice knows he does not want to piss Martell off because he knows Martell will go for the gusto. So he's trying to play it safe. Notice he's being real slick and sneaky and trying to act like he's the mediator. He really won't pick sides.
9 years ago, Martell and I decided we were going to go in business together called Scope. We were going to do residential and commercial construction. Things didn't go so well. We ended up going in different directions. And Martell was trying to sell it that he was doing me a favor by getting me into business with him. So what he's doing now is trying to rewrite history. Because deep down, he's always thought that he was better than me.
Okay, so let me also interject in that. I do believe to a big degree that Martell felt like he was the head honcho, okay? Because you got to remember, at that time, Martell had the image of being a husband, being a father, being a businessman, okay? So, in his mind, he probably possibly had good intentions on putting, Marceau on. But at the same time, I can say, and especially now that we have seen his character manifested, that Martell doesn't just do for anybody out of the kindness of his heart. He wants to make sure when he does for somebody that they praise him for it, that they never betray him in the long run. He wants you to have this overabundance level of loyalty. Even when things go wrong, even if he sabotages himself or whatever, he still expects people to be loyal who he feel he has been there for or he has put on for. That is narcissistic ninja nature. Once I put you on, or I have done anything for you, you always owe it to me to be kind to me, to kiss my ass, to never use any of my bad choices against me, to never come for me. And we know this is true because he did it with Melody. Okay? In his mind, he felt like because he was Melody's husband and one or two things that he did do for her, in his mind, he felt like Melody owed it to him to always be loyal, no matter how disrespectful, no matter how low to the ground he was towards her, he still expected loyalty. That is how Martell operates. Once he has done for someone, I don't care if he shits on you a year later or a couple of years down the line, he expects you to always be loyal. Because at the end of the day, I did for you. I looked out for you. Martell does for people because he wants to always use it as ammo to have his way, even if he pulls some fuckery later on down the line.
It's very simple for me. Martell got caught cheating, and the decides he's going to drag everyone else down. He continues to make bad in his life.
Okay, all right. So a lot of people are not going to agree with this, but out of everything Marceau has said, I agree 1,000%. And that is why Martell said, man, shut the hell up. Because it's the truth. Okay, he couldn't really rebuttal that, all right? And that is what's making Martell so bitter to this day, ladies. Please make sure y'all hit that like button. Martell has a hard time accepting all of us was smashing broads together. We was fornicating with these women outside of our marriages. We was all creeping together. We was all linking up, with our side chicks. Marceau was actually participating in Martell's fuckboy shenanigans by taking Arion's BMW to the shop and all of that. Listen, for any married man to do that, that means everybody was all in on it together. There's no way a man that is faithful to his wife is going to take his friend's side chick BMW to the repair shop and send her money and actually assist his married friend in committing adultery with his side chick. So what's understood don't even have to be explained. All of them was in together. What is pissing Marceau off is Martell is being a sore loser. Instead of him taking the L, understanding that, hey, yeah, we all was doing our thing, but bruh, you was the one who got exposed. You was the one that got sloppy. You was the ones that put your side chick out there for all us to meet and see. Okay? They all had a meet and greet with Arion Air Mattress. That's how comfortable and low down Martell was. And for Martell to feel that comfortable bringing Arion Air Mattress around Marceau and Maurice, that is because they had their side chicks too. Bottom line, the difference was Martell took his way too far. Okay? And that's where he got sloppy at. And that's why Marceau is feeling some type of way. Because his thing is, Ninja, you are in your feelings because you got caught. You don't want to take the L by yourself. You breaking the bro code. We had a smash broad's brother oath. We had an obligation that what goes on between the bros stays with the bros. But you violated because you got caught violating your marriage. And he's been coming for Marceau, coming for Tisha, coming for everybody. And this argument, Marceau is right. And we've all witnessed Martell try to take Melody down. Because he's so angry with her that she wouldn't stick with him and allow him to keep using her. That way, Arion Air Mattress could keep benefiting. Martell is a sore loser. He don't like to lose. And when he feel like he's losing, he's going to take everybody down with him. If everybody agreed to rob a bank with Martell, keep in mind, the moment you piss him off or the moment you talk about him, he's going to report you. He's going to let everybody know your business because Martell is very feminine. And he deals with things in a manner in which a woman will. By women run their mouth. Women start drama. Women be messy. Martell has feminine energy when it comes to how he deals with his emotions. So Marceau is absolutely right. He wants everybody to go down. He lost his marriage. He can't understand why Tisha is still standing by Marceau. Why Kimmy is still standing by Maurice. It makes him angry to this day because he still cannot understand why was he the only one to lose so significantly compared to them.
And he blames others for his bad decisions, right?
No.
And so real talk about the problem is this, though. Martell always seen me as just not on the right level. And it's not until he starts seeing this start rising and him start falling that he wants to bring down. So he got so much to say. Well, they do this.
Bro, yes,
they
I'm
do
going
this.
to
They do this.
You know you wanna goddamn continue
no one
to
else is
dead horses.
just
Of course I'm
talking.
gonna say
And no one
something.
ever said anything about
It
him.
took
And he
me-
cannot prove
hold
it. He can't say one thing.
It took me
I made
4 or
2
5
jokes
years now.
on the
Thanks for
ticket.
tuning
Now, as and there and it's unfortunate. There's some truths that go with this. Martell still feels like everybody is winning. He feels like he's the only one on the losing end. But the irony is, Melody been speaking on this. Melody been telling everybody how Martell moves. That he's the kind of ninja, when he can't get his way, he plays dirty. And that's what he does. Now, see, they didn't understand that till Martell started doing it to them. That's why in a lot of situations, y'all, when you are up against a whole army and everybody is coming for you, everybody's trying to take you down, remove yourself from the war. And what ends up happening is now the war starts, building between the whole army who towards each other when they all tried to come together on you. And that's basically what happened. They didn't see nothing wrong with it when it was Melody getting attacked, when he was up there making up lies about Melody. Tisha, Marceau, Kimmy, Maurice, they was eating it up for breakfast. They was getting a kick out of watching Martell devour Melody, lie on Melody, make up things about Melody, and they ate it up because they wanted it to be true, because they had really despised Martell and Melody. And that's what Martell is so slow and slow as a crock pot. He don't understand that. First of all, they were the power couple when Love and Marriage in Huntsville originally came out, before all of his fuckboy shenanigans caught up with him. They were that it couple. They were everything that Marceau, Tisha, and Maurice and Kimmy wanted to be. They were that. Martell don't understand that he was looked up to because of the type of woman he had in his corner. This is the reason why Marceau didn't mind getting put on with him, because in a low-key sense, they were somewhat admiring Martell and Melody because they were the power couple, the it couple. So the moment Martell dismantled that, when he got involved with his succubus, air mattress, that really gave the Scotts a big advantage, because now the couple that they were envious of, admiring, wanting to strive and become, when they saw that Martell's actions dismantled that image that they were trying to get themselves, all it did was really boost the Scotts up into really thinking now they got an advantage in becoming what the Holts used to be. And that's what and that's the part about it that Martell doesn't understand. He's the biggest dummy. He's the lowest common denominator in all of this, because you had everything that Marceau and Martell wanted. Now, they may never say that to this day, but you were what they were striving to be. But you allow you know, your actions basically to make you lose your image as a husband, as a father, as a businessman. So once you lost Melody, you no longer became a threat to the Scotts. If anything, the Scotts now, after your loss with Melody, it gave them that extra confidence in, okay, now we can become the it couple of Huntsville. Since Martell has ruined that, now we can take their place and become the next power couple of Lost and Tragic in Huntsville. The whole time, this ninja didn't even realize he had a prize. And everyone was striving to become what him and Melody was. But he decided to use his dick with a dingbat. And here it is, he lost everything. And what has happened, y'all, is they don't respect Martell. They don't. They don't respect him. Because they look at everything he had and they seeing that he basically went from sugar to shit, right? So they don't respect him. So Marceau kind of had a point with, now that we're elevating a little bit, you can't stand that, because where Tisha and Martell is, where Tisha and Marceau is, and we know it's nowhere on the level where Melody and Martell was, but it's a slap in the face to Martell, because he's like, damn, they was doing the same thing I was doing. But yet they still with their wives, they still got their marriages, and they still elevating. And here it is, I'm still struggling. Continue.
I made 2 jokes. They're busy. I said, well, Martell been a busy little bee. We're laughing about that.
Why y'all think that the Holtz wouldn't celebrate their 10 years?
Based on recent conversations, one of them has been a little busier than others.
You're so funny.
Somebody's been a little busy. And
what does that mean? What does that mean?
Martell's cheating. Martell came.
Well, is he lying? See, Martell hates when you call out his truth. Okay, granted, it was a joke and it's hurtful, it's embarrassing, but Martell, you created this. So yeah, you gave everybody leverage to drag you, make a mockery out of you. Guess what? Melody dealt with it and she took it like a champ. Ninja, it's your turn. So you quick to get so offensive anytime somebody says anything now. Because you know you can't rebuttal that. You're really embarrassed. Because what did Marceau say that was really bad? And it's one thing if he was saying something that was not the truth, but he's not lying. So why are you getting offended about a comment? Well, one of them has been a little busy bee. You felt some type of way because it hit you. You're embarrassed. And you know there's nothing you can do about it. You can't make people unsee you for who you really are.
Came back and later said, well, you know, that kind of disturbed me. I said, you know what? Y'all were making light of the situation, so I was making jokes of it. However, I wouldn't want you to do that to me. My bad. And I ain't said since then. But then he goes on interviews and national blogs and Martell, and he's always got my name in his mouth.
I never showed I had a problem with Marceau. And the only reason I'm coming at him now, and they're coming at Tisha, because of the lies they've been telling. And I'm like, bro, you gotta stop. You did a whole interview. What did you get for it?
Satisfaction?
You got that right.
That's what satisfies you.
Hey, hold on. Another thing, when somebody that's your boy, and then when they come lying about some shit.
So stop that thought. I'm not your boy.
And I'm glad Marceau did tell him that. Like, I'm not about to play this game with you. You're not about to call me your boy, but then you turning around, you insulting my wife, insulting me. You know, no, we're not about to play that game. You know what I mean? You're not about to piss in my mouth and call it sweet milk. That's what he's doing, right? And you notice as Marceau was talking, he was, Martell was kind of slinging his hat, and kind of, trying to distract himself, because the more Marceau was talking about him, it was eating him up, and Martell cannot take being handled, and you got to understand, that whole friendship pretty much shifted when Melody left, right? Once Melody walked, his power and status crumbled. So he started lashing out, and that's what Martell has been doing. That's the purpose of the interview. Not only that, remember when they found whatever that Telehubby built broad, that him and Arion did that, little podcast or pod trash or whatever. See, Marceau didn't forget that. How you go that far and are trying to destroy somebody because you're feeling like your luck is down, and you still have the audacity to say, we boys? Absolutely not. Once you violate me in that manner, to where you had to find somebody off the street to claim that, I was with her, and even if that was true or not, you cannot sit up there and take things to a level of disrespect and betrayal, but yet you still want to maintain friendship and you still want to maintain respect. So in this sense, I'm not a fan of either one. And we know Marceau is snakish too. Even when he did try to cover himself by saying, hey, when I realized what I said was wrong, I did apologize because I felt like, just certain things shouldn't have been said, that, I shouldn't even brought it up. And he says he never brought it up anymore after that. But the truth of the matter, Marceau, he did bring that up to sting Martell, because what it was, Martell was that it guy, at one point in time. So now that Martell has crumbled and he's lost his status after Melody left, he did use that as a moment to kind of kick him down. So we're not going to act like Marceau is 100% innocent in this, because he's not.
This is just a waste of time. Right now, they're just running around Mulberry Bush.
I don't like liars.
I sound like the truth.
This is just like stupid at this point.
I bring forth facts.
That's not true.
It's not moving us forward. This is just mudslinging.
I don't lie about everything.
This is clown.
I'm returning fire now. Every time he says something, he's getting something back.
The girl that you was killing your wife with, I brought her to the forefront.
How'd that work out for you?
I did an interview with her.
How'd that work out for you?
I don't know. You have not
How'd that
responded. You
work
said
out
you was
for
going to shoot back.
How'd
So
that
where's
work
your
out for
shot
you?
back? Because I got some too. So where's your shot back?
Listen, all I want you to...
Okay, so again, this is the nature of the narcissistic ninja. You went from saying we boys, and once Marceau said, oh hell no, we ain't boys, don't call me your boy, now he's going back to slinging mud. He brought up the female, the Teletubby built chick. He brought that up, and that's when Marceau said, how did that work for you? In other words, okay, you did all of that, but I still got my wife. I still got my marriage. Martell cannot come up for air. He keeps drowning. He wants so badly to take everybody down with him, and he has not been successful at it. Now, just that quick, he done switched. This is the nature of the narcissistic ninja, that bipolar. You tried to smooth it out. Once you saw that smoothing it out wasn't going to get you to where you wanted, now you back to airing out everything. You back to being a messy black woman. That's what he's doing.
All I want you to do,
Where's Tisha?
all I want you to do
Where's
is
Tisha?
everything out there. Put that whole vagina on the table, baby.
No.
Put that whole thing out there.
Fire back.
Tap
Like
that
you
thing.
just said. You just
No,
said.
I'm not about to...
Hold on, bro.
No, I'm firing back the way I want to fire.
Oh my God. Neither of these guys are afraid to hit below the belt. I think each one of the guys are trying to outdo the others, and it's just getting out of hand.
I'm saying don't say about me.
I ain't
I
gonna
don't about you. I don't do videos about you. Don't say nothing about me. No, I don't.
Marceau wants to get...
But Martell, you did say something. You went to bringing up more. You still tried to provoke the situation by bringing up the Teletubby built chick and talking about others. So what do you mean? You haven't said anything about him. You literally just did it.
Get his jabs in. I think Martell wants to get his jabs in, and ultimately there's egos at war right now. So the best...
And Maurice, with your fake straddle the fence self, Martell got dirt on you too. So you just trying to play the nice guy. You don't give a damn about them getting along or not. You just want to make sure Martell don't get pissed and expose you for your fuckboy shenanigans on Kimmy. Boy, bye.
better solution may be just them two together, one-on-one. I think that might be better and more productive.
Can we do a respect from here on out? If you respect him, he'll respect you, and we don't have to worry about that no more. He told me he don't respect me. I get it, but just let it, is that possible?
I'm saying I have nothing to talk about Martell for. I don't need his name in my mouth at all. So keep my name out your mouth.
Okay, y'all. So, as I stated, hey, you know, Marceau knows he's good because Tisha will always support him and have his back, no matter what. He knows he could always sweet talk Tisha. Martell, on the other hand, wasn't that lucky. Mel was not going to bite it. Mel was not going to go for it. And she just was not going to stomach it. Okay? So, therefore, I don't know what made Martell believe he was going to have an advantage at all because Melody is not Tisha. So, he already was at a disadvantage. Now, even though this part is old, from last season or whatever, I just want to show this part as well to show you it's obvious that Martell has always been bitter that his ship has sunk and everybody else is staying afloat. So this is just another example of how far a bitter black man will go, especially when things aren't going his way.
Was you shooting the picture? No. That makes me lose respect. I assume it was true. You assume it was? I don't know if I believe Martell.
You don't believe me? I've been a lot about things that we've been through over the years, and a lot of experiences that you've had. I've been a liar.
Yeah.
Let something.
You lied about that I've had 20 women. You've lied about.
No. Let's correct that statement.
Yeah.
I said that I can guarantee that you slept with 20 women since you've been married.
That's a lie.
I can bet $50,000 in that.
Show me the $50,000 real quick.
Oh, I got it.
Show me. So you're supposed to make $50,000. I just held it a bet. Show me $50,000. Show me $50,000. Yeah, show me $50,000. Okay, now I don't believe you have that. The difference is $50,000 $25.
You take a lie detector test then.
This is what I mean by how did we get to a 50 point? Nobody gonna say anything. I'm annoyed that nobody's saying anything, and I am the referee for real. It's like Maurice, let him let it out. Chris and Nell are zombies. Poor Lance, he just knew and traumatized. I just don't want anybody to swing on each other. Like that's.
See how he tried to air, not try, but he did air Marceau out right in front of Tisha by basically stating that, you know, Marceau has been with 20 women. And this is the thing. It could very well be true, but this is the whole problem a lot of people are overlooking. You were the one that got caught in the cookie jar. Crumbs are all over your mouth. Everybody else was able to walk away without no crumbs. You were not. So my thing is, yeah, we can pretty much guarantee that everybody was in on doing the same thing that you were doing. But you were the only ninja who got caught, and you're mad about that.
I know several women you doing it. Right. I know several women you doing it.
So here's the difference.
And I would suggest you stop talking so much about my.
What made you lose respect for me? Because what you're saying right now isn't even true. So I'm up here telling you what the truth is, and you still say that you have no respect for me. So I'm saying, okay, it must be something deeper. So what is it?
Was you shooting the picture?
All right, y'all. So I just want to kind of go back down memory lane right quick, just to kind of let y'all know that, hey, this has been going on for a very long time. And the bottom line is, all of these guys were in on it together. All of them was part of the Smash Brother Broad committee. And the bottom line is Martell lost way more than everybody out of that whole ordeal. Okay? And because he lost, he's making it everybody else's problem. He wants everybody to suffer like he is suffering. Okay? And the whole bottom line is, yeah, we can agree all these ninjas was in on it. But guess what? He was the only idiot who got caught. Anyway, y'all, leave your comment below. Let me know what y'all think about this. Please hit that like button. And, of course, I will be chatting it up with all of you soon. Be blessed. Have a good one. Talk to you soon. Bye.